Okay, I gave you the oath of public service, which is basically the oath of office. And anybody working within that office, like with the president, anybody working under him, they're held to the same legal obligations. Well, let's go over a list of public servants. Okay, list of public servants, social worker. Uh, Tells you a lot. Pages, categories, American social worker. The following 200 pages are in the category out of approximately 485 total. Okay, so there's a lot you can find out about what their job is. Okay, social worker, firefighter, police officer, responsible for issuing citations, making arrests, and responding to emergencies, public defenders, criminal defense attorneys who provide free, well, all attorneys are public servants. If you read the preamble in the Rules of Professional Conduct, it clearly states they all are required to do what's in the public interest and maintain the public trust. Correctional officers are also public servants. Okay, so I'm just going over uh, who you can demand live up to the oath. Okay, emergency management, librarians. Remember, all these people, not only are they public servants, but they operate under the public trust. Research the public trust doctrine. The public trust doctrine will tell you everything these people are supposed to do. Also, research the basic obligations of public service. Okay, because there's a lot of things they do that they aren't supposed to do, especially politicians. When it comes to taking money, bribes, people say there's legal bribes. No such thing as legal bribes. No such thing, not according to the law. That's just politics. They just do that because they've always done that, and you're used to them always doing this ever since the Constitution was written. What you're not used to them doing is living up to the oath. Emergency management, careers. Okay, so I'll tell you, public health nurse. Uh, Nurses, doctors, they are also public servants. Teachers, civil engineer. Education. The education system is in the public trust doctrine, or it used to be. But as you well know, politicians, lawyers, and judges have been pillaging the public trust doctrine. If they hadn't pillaged it, college would still be for free. Medical will be for free. People call European socialist because they got, you know, universal health care, but that's because they actually follow the rules, the laws when it comes to democracy. Healthcare, is in the public trust. Okay, so I'm just letting you know. You could look it up. I don't want to argue with you. Just look it up. Civil engineers, education, the military, they're public servants. They took an oath to we the people. Public health, civic penalties, criminal justice system. Is basically the justice system is part of the public trust. So when you speak to a lawyer or a judge, remind them of the oath they took, the penalties for violating that oath, and then review the code of judicial conduct and the rules of professional conduct with them. So that way you make it very clear that you are going to have effective assistance of counsel, a fair trial, and have due process exist. Okay, crossing guards, transportations. Who is considered a public servant? What jobs are considered public servant? What counts as a public servant? Who are our public servants? Okay, who is considered a public servant? A public servant is a government officer, employer, or agent, a juror, grand jury, an arbitrator, a referee, an attorney, or a notary public, a political party official, or political candidate, or anyone who is performing in governmental functions. Offenses involving public servants. Okay, let's take a quick look there. Public servant is a government officer, employee, or agent, juror, grand juror, arbitrator, referee, an attorney, or notary public, political party official, political candidate, anyone who is performing government function, a person in public service, even or he, she only has been elected to office, has not assumed the duties of his or her office. A public servant commits a criminal offense when he or she accepts an honorarium or a fee in exchange for a public servant's exercise or his or her official discretion. Although public servants may accept transportation, lodgings, and meals when he or she is speaking or providing service at a conference or at a meeting, the public servant may not accept any expenses or fees that are not connected with the conference or meeting. A public servant commits a criminal offense when he or she accepts a gift in exchange for the exercise of his or her official discretion. Certain public servants are not allowed to accept any type of gift, even if the gift is not being given in exchange for the exercise of public servants' official discretion. These type of public servants include persons who perform regulatory functions, who conduct investigations or inspections, who have custody of prisoners, who engage in litigation on behalf of governmental entity, who award contracts and claims, who render judicial or administrative decisions, and who are members of a state legislature. A public servant who receives unauthorized gift may donate the gift to a government entity or a charitable organization. A public servant may receive a gift if the gift was professional fee in exchange for public servant service other than a public servant. If the gift was given as a result of a personal, professional, or business relationship, if the gift was a qualified political contribution, or the gift had minimal value. Most states have enacted statutes set forth for the minimum amount that may be accepted by the public servant as a gift. A person commits the offense of coercion of a public servant or a voter if he or she influences or attempts to influence a public servant with regard to public servant's official duties, or influences an attempt to influence a voter with regard to his or her vote. So you can't buy votes, like, offering $100 to vote on something. No, it's coercion is the same as a threat. If a person threatens a public servant, if the person threatens a public servant or the voter with an accusation, with an offense, with bodily injury, or with public ridicule, the person is guilty offense of coercion. That's pretty easy to understand, don't you think? A person who commits the offense of improper influence, he or she probably communicates with a judicial or administrative officer in order to influence the judicial or administrative officer with regard to his or decision and adjudication. An adjudication is determination of legal rights, duties, parties, judicial, of an administrative proceeding. The offenses of accepting honorarium, receiving a gift, coercing public servant or voter, or improperly influencing a judicial or administrative officer are normally classified as misdemeanors. The offense of coercing public servants or a voter may be classified as a felony if a person threatens a public servant or the voter with a felony. Okay, what jobs are considered public servants? If you're interested in the career: teacher, firefighter, guidance counselor, executive assistant, social worker, principal, mental health therapist. Who are our public servants? A civil service officer, also known as a public servant or public employee, a person that is employed by the public sector, by a government or department of agency or public sector undertakings. Are cops public servants? Whether you call them civil servants or public servants, their dedication to serve the public. Okay. So basically anybody collecting a tax-generated paycheck is a public servant, and they take the oath to serve we the people. Let's just cut it short. When they take the oath to serve and protect the Constitution, they take an oath to serve and protect we the people. That is a binding contract. They took a contract of servitude to we the people. We are their lords and masters. And them violating the oath is biting the hand that fed them, and they've done that far too many times for far too long. Ever since the Constitution was written, it's rare that anybody abides by the basic obligations of public service, yet alone live up to the oath. But that's up to you to decide. I'm not in every state, every city. I can't tell you about your public officials there because I'm in the land of Lincoln. But I'm showing you how to look up what you need to look up. for your state, or whether it be state or federal. What makes a public servant? Are doctors public servants? Yes. It's a doctor, a public service job. Others are employed by hospitals. Yes, some works for government, those in public service. Yes, doctors are public servants. What is an example of public servant? Public servant professions include police officers, judges, and firefighters, as well as the jobs that keep government operating, such as accounting, finance, information technology, and logistics management. Is a security guard public servant? No. Okay, they are not public servants, security guards. Are social workers public servants? It's public service. Is a bank teller considered a public servant? No, not today. No, they are employed by the bank, not the government. So no. Is a nurse a public servant? Is nursing a public service job? There are some unsung heroes in healthcare. Yes, they are. And are teachers public servants? The doctor count as public service. The U.S. Department of Education recently updated public service loan forgiveness program to allow eligible California physicians to participate, despite California's prohibition on physician employment by private nonprofit hospital, clinic, foundations, and other healthcare entities. So yes, the president of the United States is considered a public servant. While the term public servant is often used to describe career civil servants who work for the government, the president also serves the public by leading the country, enforcing laws, and representing the nation on a global scale. Here's why the president is considered a public servant. Elected by the people, the president is elected through democratic process, meaning they are chosen by citizens of the United States. Serves the nation. The president's primary role to serve the interests of the nation as a whole, including the execution of laws, command of the armed forces, and representation of the world stage. Head of state government, the president is both the head of state and the head of government, responsibility for representing the country and leading the executive branch. While the president's role is unique and distinct from that of a typical career civil servant, the concept of serving the public is central in both positions. Is the FBI public servant? Yes. No. The FBI is a national security organization that works closely with many partners around the country, across the globe, and address most serious security threats facing the nation. We are one of the federal agencies with law enforcement responsibilities. But they still have an oath. Okay, so hold them to the oath. Do security guards have the same authority as police? Hell no. Are officers public servants? Yes. What is considered public service? Okay, list of public servants, a guide for employers. Okay, so I was just letting you know, giving you a list of public servants. I talked to you about, violating the oath, the penalties for violating the oath, fines, removal from public service, and incarceration. Okay, just keeping you up on, there's a lot of laws that I talked about. I post on my page, Legal Reform, and you could use them all. And not in every case, not in every court, but these laws are unspoken and unused in most courts, in just about all courts. So I'm just trying to teach you how to maneuver through it. Okay, that's all. And many times I confronted public servants where they denied they were public servants, said they didn't work for me, they worked for the government. And every time I'd remind them of their oath and the penalties of, nothing would really happen because it's just me. And, well, public servants do what public servants do, They don't report each other. They don't enforce laws that are supposed to be enforced or used against them for breaking laws, the laws I've been speaking to you about. But they don't do it. They call it professional courtesy. I seen cops do it. I had, in my younger days, been out with cops. They done some stupid stuff. We get pulled over by cops. They flash their badge, and cops, okay, you can go, get out of here. And they call it professional courtesy. I've seen the FBI extended to the Chicago police. I've seen politicians, do the professional courtesy things with other politicians. The DOJ, they have a tradition of not, indicting a sitting president. It's a tradition. It's not a law. It's a tradition, which is commonly known among public service as professional courtesy. That shows a whole lot of bias, favoritism, which is not allowed in any court. Okay, so, the only way you're going to stop that professional courtesy is if you get up on the law. Okay, I mean, these are your public servants. These are the people that took an oath to serve and protect you. And here they are biting your hand repeatedly, no matter what court you're in. I try to help people in child custody cases, and all they need is the rules and the codes, and, because that's not happening. The Rule of Professional Conduct, Code of Judicial Conduct, no matter what court you go into, it's not happening. Criminal court, family court, civil court. I've been in all of them. I visited all of them, trying to help as many people as I can, mostly out of curiosity to find out how these courts work and if anybody abides by the rules and the codes. But I found out that even talking to a lawyer or a judge about their job description, their legal obligations, they get very upset. My life was threatened many a times, and I was left for dead for inciting my constitutional rights, the Bill of Rights, human rights, my birthrights as a United States citizen, and they don't like that. And to be honest with you, I'm lucky I'm still alive. I'm surprised I'm still living. Frankly, I've been living in a paranoid state for so many years because of what I've been doing, teaching people this, going to the courts and trying to help people. Strangers, perfect strangers. Nobody I knew, people I just met. But see, that's who I am. That's what I'm about. We, the people. When I see you, I don't see the color of your skin. I care not if you're male or female, or if you identify as something other than that. If you go by we, them, they, hey, you. That doesn't matter. All that matters is if you're a United States citizen. That's all that matters to me. When I look at you, I always remind myself of who you are. We the people. You're one of me. I'm one of you. When it comes to we the people, I am many. We are one. And the only way we're going to get things done if we do it together. Okay? So I've cashed my political preferences aside shortly before I cast my first vote. Because I learned to understand the legal system, the political system, the oaths, the obligations of public service. You ever read that? The basic obligations of public service? It's aggravating, infuriating, and entertaining. But either way, people, here's a list of your public servants. Remember, violating the oath requires fines, removal from public service, and incarceration. Thank you and good night. Nothing but peace and love. I wish you nothing but a long life and good health. Thank you. May God be with you.